teach each other how to tell people how we want them to respond. I speak first to the head coaches in the room. It's up to the head coach, when you say I have a philosophy, to allow your coaches to know the philosophy. There's no such thing as because coaches are with you, they know what you want. I think you actually have to sit down, discuss, talk through every phase of coaching on how to coach coaches so that you coach people correctly. I say this, and Mike Gottfried, who I feel is one of the fine coaches in the country, and I mean that, was on my staff at Cincinnati in Arizona, and he knows that what I'm telling you is the truth. Every spring and every fall, I gave this same speech. I did it for every year that I coached because I felt it was very important for anybody that coached with me to know me, to understand me, and to use those things I thought was necessary to motivate people and allow them to play the way I wanted them to play. Don't ever assume that people know what you want. You must tell them what you want. So taking that into its perspective, let me go into first, the biggest neglect that we as coaches have is not keeping each other informed. That means from one member of the staff to another. That's the biggest problem that a coach has, and a biggest problem that a coaching staff has. What do you mean by keeping informed? Keeping informed to me is that when I meet with you for the first time, no matter what it be, if it were coaching or whether it be business, I'm going to tell you what I want you to wear, where I want you to wear it, how I want you to dress, and what I expect you to dress in certain locations. You'll say, what do you mean? Let's think of a staff being destroyed because of the clique, and you know what I mean by a clique. A clique is when you go to practice one day and all of you guys are wearing all those sexy uniforms you got, and they're sharp, you know, blue pants, red shirt, all that bullshit in the front, and their pretty hats. And hey, I'm not making fun. I think that's the way to go. But all of a sudden, you guys look real good, and you go out there, man. And then here comes that other coach. Tank shirt, tongs, cutoffs, and he got his hat on backwards, right? Now, he's really an asshole. Now, you know it. I know it. So what happens to your staff? Because I, as a head coach, didn't say this is what we're going to wear on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. This is what we always will wear at practice, and this is what I insist you wear. You allow one man to come out, and for no reason but that he wants to be different, he dresses differently, and immediately causes a split in the staff. Because other coaches go, oh, look at the, you know, son of a gosh, dang, look. And this kid go, hey, man, right? The head coach, it's your fault. It's nobody else. Let's take this same situation and you go to the banquet. It's a PTA meeting, a banquet, a sports banquet. I don't care what it is, a boosters meeting. It's up to the head coach again to say, when we go to these affairs, you check with me prior to going, we're going to dress in this manner. If it's a banquet, shirt and tie. If it's a booster club, casual, dress slacks, sports shirt. Because if you don't, what happens? You go to the banquet, you guys are all dressed, and here he comes again. Tank shirt. I can't do it, but he could. Muscle, looks good, wears the tight pants. I love it. There's something written on the shirt. So now the staff gets pissed again, right? For no reason. The staff goes in the room, you all like each other, and you look up and say, look at him. God dang, he looks bad. Well, the kid's not wrong, that's him. The head coach should have said, this is what we dress, this is how we dress, this is what we're going to wear. If you don't do that, then you're not coaching coaches. If you don't let them know what you want, how can somebody do it? If you don't let them believe in a philosophy, how can the philosophy be imparted? A philosophy is how you dress. It's how you dress in an office or an alumni meeting, at a banquet in the field. What about language? Can a coach wait till he goes on the field, first day of practice, and all you guys, you're all stumped up and you're ready to go, and you start to coach? And here you are at your position, and you're at your position, and you're all doing your thing. The thing you thought your coach wanted, suddenly that same guy, right? You hear real loud, all right, asshole, come over here. Now you don't asshole isn't real bad, so you don't get shook. You just kind of... Then he starts. You no good. Well, you dumb son. Well, you... God damn, I'll kick your ass. Now, you can't go up to him and yell because, as the coaching profession goes, we're not supposed to make fun of our fellow coaches on the field. So you get mad, the staff get mad. You're starting a break in your staff because you didn't sit people down and say, keep your mouth shut on the field, coach up. Teach, repeat, show compassion. Get to the point of it. Make sure the man reacts as he should. I don't want you to swear, cuss, touch, hit, or pull on any football player on that field. Now, if that's what you believe, then say it. If you don't say it and someone does it, then it's your fault as a head coach. And if it's your fault, remember, it tears away at a staff. It destroys a staff because here's a man doing his thing who probably would do your thing if you had taken the time to tell him, this is not what I want. I tell you this, and I tell it with pride. I didn't allow my coaches to swear. I didn't swear. I never swore, and I never would. I'm not saying that's great. Here I am today calling assholes and turds and jazzing around. We're a group of men in a room having fun. We're at a football clinic that I hope you get things from. You've heard a great speaker, a couple already, Bicknell and the others. Nothing like it. So I come in and jazz around, trying to make you, between laughs, pick something up that may make you a better coach or a better person. But understand this. I don't swear because I think it's the right thing to do. It's rather stupid. So stupid, in fact, because I can't communicate with fellow man, I have to resort to vulgarity because I don't have the proper use of the English language, nor do I have the proper use of adjectives. And I'm ashamed of it. But I'll tell you what, as long as you assholes want to listen, I'll say it that way. But if that's what gets you tore down at a game, if that takes away from your practice, then you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong if you go to practice and you have to yell, watch it, there's a woman at the sideline. Watch it, so-and-so's mother's watching practice. If you can't practice the same way every day, then you got a problem. And if your philosophy is you don't care, then don't say there's a woman on the sideline. Keep your mouth shut and let it fly. Because that's what you expected. If you have a philosophy, impart it. Tell people what you want. Tell a staff what you want. Now you get a staff working together. You get a staff dressing alike, talking alike, and saying things correctly. I don't mean you're a clone. You coach your way. But I don't feel if I... Now look, I don't mean you don't have to swear. If you're on the field and that's your bag, do it. I'm not saying that. I didn't. I didn't allow my coaches to. I know a lot of people that do and allowed their coaches to and won. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying if you're going to do it one way, do it one way. If you're going to get something done, then work toward a goal. If you want kids to play football, then I suggest you teach them how to play by teaching. We're in the greatest profession in the world, and the reason we are, I believe that the greatest coaching is done in high school. Why? I never hired a coach in my staff in any of the colleges that I was at unless they were a high school coach. Reason? They knew how to teach. You know how to teach. You were taught to teach. We should not be called coaches. We are teachers. You will never teach everything you know to a young athlete. Impossible. The great coaches will only teach what the young player will absorb. When you're able to do that and do it intelligently, then you can motivate and get them to do those things you want them to do in a strong and fanatic manner. Now, I'll go into each of these areas as on-the-field coaches, what you expect from an athlete if you treat him in certain ways. But let's go through this. What is another thing I talk to my coaches about? Means of communication. Sounds easy? Means of communication. How do you tell your coaches when you have a meeting? First day of practice, you say, the first day of practice, staff, we're going to meet from now until Christmas, 2 o'clock, every afternoon, every Sunday at 8. We're going to work. No. Usually you start out by saying, we're going to meet, and then you go through your 2-a-day schedule. That's okay. Fellas, never meet because you said you wanted to. Only meet when you have something to say. We as coaches become bullshitters. Bullshitters are people who go to a room and want to talk about offense and talk about world affairs. That's not coaching. If you're having a meeting and not talking about what you're supposed to be talking about, then don't meet. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I would tell my staff, you check every day, and by 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll have posted the schedule for the day, which means we will normally meet every day at 3:01. If I don't feel there's a meeting, there will be no meeting. And it will be posted. No one has to yell down the hall, meeting 3 o'clock. What the hell is he saying? 3 o'clock. Shit. I thought we were going to meet at 2. No, he wants to meet at 3. No meeting. You know what time he says that? No meeting usually? 15 to 3. 15 to 3. You told your wife you wouldn't be home. You told the girlfriend you couldn't make it. You didn't go to the groceries. You couldn't take your kid to the movie. And 15 to 3. No meeting. Yeah, no meeting. Right? So you start problems immediately. Man, tell people when you're supposed to meet. Meet when you're supposed to meet. Only when you have something to say, then say it. Never meet because that's the only thing you want to do. Know when you're going to meet and how you're going to tell your coaches to do so. The same thing with your squad. Never tell a squad we're going to meet around 3 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I always said 3:01. If we're going to meet at 1 o'clock, it was 1:01. Our ball game started at 7:31. Reason, they knew immediately that a minute means something to me. I don't ask you to blow out off the line of scrimmage around 1. When somebody coughs, get your ass off the line. Now, the same thing is true when I say to you, be there at 3:01, don't be there at 3:02. I really recommend that. I'll be there. As a head coach, your responsibility is to be there first. And an associate coach, your responsibility is to be there before the meeting time. And at the time of the meeting, it should begin now. If it doesn't work that way, again, you started a split in your staff. Don't permit anyone to come in meetings late unless there's a serious reason for it. You yourself don't be late. Set up your times and your schedules to work by it. The only way I would talk to a squad, and I do all the time, is when you meet with the football team, you tell them when you're going to meet, especially individual tackles. Okay, all right. Men, we're going to meet today for 27 minutes, which I think is too long. But prior practice, you might meet. Coach, players, we're going to meet today 17 minutes. Today we're going to discuss the off-tackle plays, a 1-2 kick on 3, double and 4. I want you to pay attention because what I say is important. Are you ready? And you begin and watch it. And you're speaking. And in 17 minutes, the best way to make a football team obey you is as you're worrying on the board, you say, and furthermore, when we go to the sweep side, that's it, break. They know now you're serious about going off on the count. They know now you're serious about what you say. They know now that you don't play around. They know now that you've started a discipline problem. As compared to, well, let's take, let's take another minute. Don't do it, man. You know why you don't do it? You reverse it. Did you like it? Did you really enjoy going to a chalk talk? More bullshit in a chalk talk than the world has ever seen. Coaches love to talk. You're a coach. You love to talk. Make sure what you say briefly, you condense, and you keep it intelligently and pointed. Don't say anything more than you have to, and when you say it and get it over with. That's what I mean by communication. Say it intelligently and use action. Never talk to a squad as you stand in front of them and not move. Can't do it. Because when I go like this, I want you to look at me. If you don't look to me, what are you thinking about? If I go over to here, you look at me. If I move my hand, I want you to get the idea of my gesture. So everything we do has got to be toward the ultimate goal of winning. So the organization and coaching coaches is to get people to think alike, believe alike, dress alike, so that you do those things that don't tear away from a staff. Don't have a staff fall apart because you're saying the things that are wrong and a coach doesn't believe in it. Don't create tension on your staff because you think you want to do it your way. As part of a team, you must do it the team way. You coach your way, but do it the team way. Now, you have to know your responsibilities. A responsibility on or off the field. A responsibility isn't a tackle coach. A responsibility is when a coach says, I want you to be responsible for the 7-man sled. And people say, 7-man sled? Man, I've been on practice fields and lost the son of a bitch. Have you ever done it? Okay, ready to go line, yeah. 7-man sled. Where the hell's the 7-man sled? And there's that guard coach. I left it over to Heel there. Heel your ass. If you're responsible for the 7-man sled, you tell us when you're through, put it there. So that when I said, let's go the 7-man sled, I used to turn and go the 7-man sled. 2-man sleds were bad. That stud, I'd never found that. Somebody. A whole week I couldn't find that stud. Where's that stud? If I find that, I know what I'll do with it. Because we don't tell people what their responsibility is. If your responsibility is take care of a bulletin board, that is the most important responsibility I know. I remember in recruiting, I used to go to different high schools around December the 8th. The season was over November the 18th. I'd walk in their locker room, and on the bulletin board would be, don't forget physicals, August 3rd. Nobody ever took it down. How can you have that sign on the board and then underneath it have practices called off tomorrow? And wonder why nobody saw it. If you are responsible for the bulletin board, that means this. Every night the bulletin board is swept clean. Every time something is put up, it is put up straight, neat, and printed correctly. Now remember what we're talking about. We're talking about football. You're talking about a group of people that you say to them, when you get in the line of scrimmage or in the huddle, I want you to be correct. When you break the huddle, I want you to be on time. And when you get on the line of scrimmage, I want you to line up in a line. What do you do then? You go to the bulletin board, you scrawl it, it's upside down, the spelling's wrong, and some young kid walked in there and said, hey, turds, the stud was here. Hey, the bulletin board is part of the field. It will be neat, it will be straight, and it will be done properly. It will be handled by one man. Don't touch it and keep it straight. If I want somebody at a meeting and they said it wasn't on the board, it's your fault. So that when you give a man a responsibility, your responsibility is to handle it. Coaches must delegate in this day and age in order for you to win. It is impossible for a head man or a coordinator or anybody else to do the job alone. Once you receive an assignment, you take care of the assignment. You young coaches, remember this. It took a long time for some of these guys to become as dumb as you think they are. Man, earn your way. If you're a junior high coach, you be proud. And let me tell you this, and I'm not digressing. I'm telling you this right now. The junior high coaches in this country are the important coaches. If you're a junior high coach, quit worrying about your record. Don't tell me that, you know what we're 7-0. Who gives a shit? The only responsibility you have as a junior high coach is if you have 35 kids, you make sure the varsity gets 35 kids next year. Because if we had 35 junior high football players and only 20 come up to me, you're fired. I don't care if you were 7-0, 12-0, or 0-12, you're fired. Your only responsibility to the varsity staff is to have young people encouraged enough to go and play for the varsity. Don't burn them out. Jeez, have you seen those little leaguers? God, they're that high. Good looking uniform. Shit. They go to practice and they get one of these guys, a lawyer, doctor, gas station attendant. He's the coach. Okay, kids, you ready? They're dressed better than we are. Shit, yeah, I'm ready. And then they start doing calisthenics. 1 hour. All you see is this dust over the baseball field, right? And you see these 22 kids. Tell me, how do you think that little shit gets out of shape? He's 6 years old. Do you think he drinks a lot? Teach him to laugh. Hit him on the head with the ball. Hand it to him. Say, here. God damn it. Now somebody tackle him. Have fun. Then he goes to the junior high. Then there's that guy. We're going to go undefeated. Who gives a shit? You produce football players for the varsity. The varsity, you understand? He gets fired. You have tenure. His ass is gone because no one comes up. But you won 10 in a row. No, they don't even put it in the paper. Your wife had to hand out pamphlets. So you junior high man, you are important. I'm not making fun of you. What I'm telling you is you are the most important part of football today. Teach young people that it's a great game. Bring them up. Let them want to play. Don't make it so miserable. They say, if it's like this, shit, what's it like with the varsity? This guy, I did the duck walk 7 hours today. They could walk across Kansas on their ass. Everything is... I tell you what. Junior high coaches, they're the guy that kicked the hands out, right? You dumbass, I was going forward. I tell you, you want to laugh, you go around. How about when they say you're looking? That's a good one. You're a line coach. If you're not, you better be, because you'll never be a backfield coach. Damn. I like talking to you. Oh, shit. What the hell are you guys laughing at? Tell them to go to hell. You all joggers? Joggers. Big deal. Don't you forget. You ever read in the paper what happened? Oh, hey, Joe Jones, what happened? He died. What was he doing? Jogging? No one ever died in a plate of spaghetti. That's right. They all die in the gymnasium. Nobody in the restaurant. Go ahead, jog. We don't care. Okay. How about hours? What do you think is the correct number of hours you practice? Do you honestly believe people know that? I remember this, and I was rather flattered. I was at Arizona, and I got a phone call, and it was Bill Walsh. Bill had just taken the Stanford job, and Bill called and says, Tony, he said, I'm in a staff meeting. True story, I told it the other day with Bill on the stage. He said, my coaches want to organize every minute of spring ball. He said, is that possible? Now, that's not because he's stupid. It's because he's a pro. And he said, is that what you do? I said, shit, no. I said, what if 3 guys get hurt in the morning? What does that do to your agility drill in the afternoon? He said, I know. He said, that's too much organization. And this is a guy that calls 27 plays before the game. And he said, that's too much organization. But anyway, the truth of the matter is there are no hours. Hours in football is dependent upon what you need done. Now, I've seen some of your teams. The day is not long enough. No, I didn't mean, because they're bad, man. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't trade them, you can't waive them, and you can't shoot them. You got to live with them. Those turns are yours. Do you really believe if you work 12 hours, they're going to get better? All they do is get tired. That's all. They don't get better. They look at you and say, God damn, I'm tired. I've been eating all day. I don't know how you got it. That's right. So practice time is dependent upon what you can get to a football player and an athlete in time. Remember, if you meet and you talk too long, people retain only 25% of what you hear if the conversation was 25 minutes or longer. If you don't repeat what you said within 48 hours, they will lose 50% of what you said. Consequently, in order for something to be held true, it must be said quickly, often, repeated, and intelligently. Meaning that's why you have a best play. Do you really believe your best play is your best play because it's blocked differently? Is 1, 2, double 3, kick on 4 tough? Shit. The whole world does it. Why does yours work? Because you run it, run it, run it, run it, and run it. And when you're in trouble, you run it. And what plays work? That one. Then how come those other 18 don't? You don't run them. You don't run them. You throw one streak a night. Go deep. We missed this son of a bitch again. Then you get in a game, and you throw the same one streak a game, and miss the game. Because when you need yardage, 1, 2, double 3, kick on 4. Man, it's what you do, how often you do it, in the time span that is necessary to get it accomplished. It's not the length of a practice, it's what you get from a practice. It's not the length of a meeting, it's what you say in a meeting. It's not working your staff till they can't see, it's allowing them to go home at night. It's allowing people the opportunity to live a life. Football really is not the only thing in the world today, and I love it. Your family is the only thing in the world today. You take care of that, and football takes care of itself. That means that you will also take care of the athletes that play for you. A 5-hour practice doesn't do anything but really burn them out. It's what you do and how well you accomplish, but nothing else. Length of time has nothing to do with it. So if I'm an offensive coach or a defensive coach, it's up to the head coach to meet with you and to give you my philosophy. This is the way we're going to practice, this is what we're going to do in practice, and this is how we're going to do it. The same thing holds true now Let's take coaching on the field. If I want you to do something on the field, the only way I can get it done properly is to tell you this is what I want on the field. I can't wait till I get to the field, and when you make a mistake, say, Jesus, look what, oh. Now you blew a whole morning's practice because this kid didn't know what to do. And the reason he didn't is you didn't say it. You coach up. If you want to play football or coach football, you coach up. There's nothing better in life than having somebody pat you on the back. You coach up and you use their name. You tell them what you think. When I want my players, my coaches, and I told them this every time, and many of them are in this room, Valicenti, Tommy Liggins, Mike Godfrey, they all were on my staff, and they knew. And they know now because Mike Godfrey is the most compassionate coach I know. You're lucky to have a man like him. I'm not saying that because he'll take care of him. He's tough, but he knows when to put his arm around him. He coaches up. You understand what coaching up is? Coaching up means that when a kid does something wrong, you correct softly. When he does something well, you correct loudly. You encourage him. You use his name. Use his name. Have you all forgotten? If it's Tom, John, Tony, Jim, that's what you call him. Why do I say that? I learned. Remember the first day you went to junior high practice? I do. My dad couldn't wait. Son, today's the day. Yep. You're going to junior high today. Yep. Football. Yep. Can't wait, Dad. I went to practice. Remember that first day when they put the pads on you? Those hip pads. Remember those? God damn. No, you bend. The guy said, can you bend down? Yeah. I feel good. Then the knee, remember the pants? It was all right if your thighs were on the side of your legs. And then the shoe with the cleat at the end, that big, too big. And you walked out there, that damn helmet. Football. That's what I wanted. And you got down in your first time you got in the stance. Shoulder pads. And that junior high coach said, you comfortable? Get in a comfortable stance. You wish you'd shut up so you get the hell out of it. Remember that? Then you blew out and then you heard it. Hey, turd! 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 God damn it, turd! Hit! They changed your name in this league. Huh? So I was her turd. Remember you went home that night, your dad said, how was it, son? Not bad. Was it fun? It's all right. But tell me about it. Now, your dad goes in the other room and says, Tony, come on in here. Tony? When I call you, come in here. Dad, my name's Turd. So my dad said, well, Turd, come in here. Remember that? I remember it distinctly. I also remember the first day I hit the linebacker and that son of a bitch fell down. I don't know how. He fell. Good block, Tony. Tony, good block. Shit, man, they changed it back. Did you feel better when the man said, Tony? God damn you. Where's that linebacker? Shit. All he did was say, Tony. And the best thing of all was when he patted me on the ass. He said, Tony, holy shit. Now I'm ready. Everything fit better. My dad said, how'd it go today, Turd? I said, Dad, call me Tony. He said, how was it? Great. He touched my ass. My dad said, don't you start liking that. Shit, I like that one. I never used it. I could. But anyway, You just relate those things that happen to you, and you start coaching kids a little bit better. They kind of like being called Tom. They kind of like somebody saying, good job, man. Do you kind of like it? Do you really believe when those thoroughbreds come across the line of scrimmage, that when the closing line, they say, I win or lose, somebody gets a lump of sugar and goes, that thoroughbred goes, do you see what they do with the jackass? You ever see the board? They hit a jackass, and if you hit a jackass too much, it sits down. Thoroughbreds want sugar. Sugar. Coach up. Touch a man. Treat him like a man, he plays like one. Remind him he's an asshole, he becomes one. If you think he's a turd, he plays like one. If you wish to call him that and you think it's fire up, that's fine. Have you really gone up to a kid and said, well, asshole, you really stunk today? And the kid said, thanks, coach, I really needed that. What else do you find out about me? Have they really said that to you? Then why do we do it? Is that what you would do to your kid? Really? Is that what you would do to your son? If you're fortunate enough to have a son that play, I say fortunate because a lot of people say, what if you had a son? Would you want him to play for me? Hell yeah, the best coach in the country. Jack McNeil knows. He's got his sons playing center. Couldn't play for a better man. Damn right. I'll tell you what he wouldn't like to hear is he saying to him, hey, turd. His wife would take care of that one. Man, coach up. Coach up. You want to win, you have an opportunity to win when you dress alike, think alike, talk alike, feel it, want to win, and talk to people like they are people. Treat young people like they're yours. Call them son, call them man, call them by their name. They play then. If you think it's the other way, you're wrong. If you think kicking the hand out is what makes a man tougher, you're wrong. Junior high coaches, I get on your ass because I've seen varsity coaches act dumb, that act tough. Usually people who act tough on the football field wouldn't hit the water if they fell out of a boat. They wouldn't. All the tough guys I ever saw coach it tough. They don't talk tough. They get it from their people. It's not whether you're a great athlete that counts. I wouldn't want a guy that ran a 9.3 teaching my kids how to run this wide out. Shit. 11.2. He goes, phew. That kid. And he's pissed off just the way he runs. That's the best he can run. Man, don't exaggerate what coaching really is. Coaching is the material you have at hand. I remember giving a lecture with Lou Holtz a few years back and talking about the dive. Lou said, and I love Lou. He's in our high school league. We're close friends, the whole shit. But this is Lou. Lou said, we run that dive and we're good at it. He's not shitting. He said, when we run it right in there. And then he said, we go to the other side and run it right in there. And our linemen just, and then they move out of there. And I got up and I said, when we run the dive, and our linemen, God, dude, hurry up, you asshole! Our dive isn't that good. Really have trouble with our dive. Our dive requires 2 good holds and a hell of a lot of movement forward. Man, I run the dive. I do the color for the gamblers. You don't give a shit anyway. So I watch Ed Kelly. I could run the single wing, anything I wanted with him pulling the trigger. Say, Jim, yeah, throw a completion, please. Do you want it this way, or that way? Hey, man, he's great. He's a super football player. If you don't have one, then I suggest you get the ones you have playing as hard as they can because they want to play for you. Motivation comes from within. You don't motivate people because they hate you. They don't motivate people because they love you. They respect you. They respect you for treating them like people. They respect you for treating them like men, and eventually they play hard for you. True story, kickoff, first play of the game, 1 yard line, we made a mistake. From the beginning, we let it bounce, poop, poop, we're on the 1 yard line going out. Only had 99 to go. 103,000 people. I said, the best thing to do is give it to your best football player who never fumbles, ever. Hubert Oliver, starting fullback for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Tough son of a bitch. Give the ball to Hubie. Hubie fumbled. He dropped it. I almost died. Now, if I almost died, do you know what Hubert Oliver almost did? He's in Michigan. He's from Ohio. There must have been 500 people, relatives of his there, and he fumbled. The thing you do not do in coaching is, Hubie, you dumbass, you fumble! He looked up and said, I know. He said, now you told all those people I dropped that son of a bitch. It's not going to work. True story. I ran out in the field, met him about the hash mark, put my arm around him. They said, hey, Hubie. And he was crying. Crying. I said, Hubie, they never thought we'd do that. And he looked at me. He said, Coach, you're crazy. I said, let's see what they're doing with that shit now, man. So we get on the side, and Michigan gets the ball in. They did with it what I thought they would. They scored 7-0. I said, now we got them. Now they don't think we can beat them. To make a long story short, they beat us by 3 points with a sustained drive in the last 3 minutes and won the game. They won the game because they were better than us. However, Hubert Oliver gained 202 yards, broke the corner man's leg and the shoulder of the safety man, and is now a pro for the Eagles. I wonder if this didn't do more than, you dumbass, you fumbled. Don't you forget it. No one I ever knew walked around trying to fumble a ball or jump offside. The more you can get respect from an athlete, the better they are, especially when a kid sold out for 2 years and never dropped it. And if a kid does drop it a lot, what are you going to do with it? I want to hear it. Trade him? Bench him? That's not bad. You can have a no-back offense. I mean, do you have an idea what you might do? You got to coach him. We must coach what we have. Then coach him up. Have fun with him. The only way you're going to make it in life. You know, we all expect people to run the sweep right and left. Do you run all your practices right and left? Sweep right, sweep left. Trap right, trap left. Zip right, zip left. Hook right, curl left. Curl. Man, human beings can't do everything the same both ways. There's some people run to the right and they rip it. That same guy going to the left. Now what the hell are you doing running over there for? Well, we got to have it both ways. Why? They'll know. Coaches don't know doodly. Coaches defense the field. They must surround your football team. They won't say he will never run to the left. If I know defensive coordinators, they say they've run 972 times to the right. Why are you lined up on the left? This week, I think they'll run to the left. Right? Did you ever get ready for a game and they use in Oklahoma for 7 years and your coordinator puts in a split six? What are you doing? I just know they're going to run. Offensive line coaches and defensive backfield coaches are a little different. They're all just a little different. Are you a secondary coach? I thought so. You just I can pick it. You take it easy, son. Just back up when you're in trouble. They're all alike, secondary coaches. What do you think? I don't know. You have fun in your staff meetings. What foot do you keep up when you line up at the corner? Does it really give a shit? I used to listen to my staff. Put the left foot up. How about left foot and small tilt? How about right foot and tilt out? How about just squat? Really, who gives a shit? They're 9 yards away. If your kid can't do something with his feet before they get there, you got a problem. You ever see that Hayes in Oakland? He don't give a shit. Come on out here. He's going to do it, right? In other words, men, don't overcoach nothing. You're going to sit in a meeting to confuse your people. Here's the way you confuse a person. You're an offensive line coach. You got to be. You couldn't be defense, no movement. Your pursuit range would be a closet. Closet. Jesus. Well, I'm not making fun because We're both in the same league. But you guys will go to an offensive meeting. Here's what you do. You'll sit down. You right there, you four. Offensive line coach, center, guards, tight ends. What do you think? Let's set up the rules. Okay, nice and cool, air conditioning. What are we going to do about that trap right? You're first. Well, I think we should block number. That sounds good. What do you, is it, any going to the center 0? Yeah. How about 0, 1, 2, 3? Okay, we'll use that as the basic. Wait a minute. What if they're in a gap? Well, then we're going to have to say red. If it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, gap red. What if it's only front gap? Let's call that green. Good. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, gap red, green out. And you say, but if they're in a split 6 and stack, what are we going to do? We're going to have to use a little zone. Okay, we'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, gap red, green, man up, first man my side, no man my side, block out. That's the base. Let's make the rule. So now you start making the rule. Beautiful rule. Now, when you get through, you say, I got the guard. What do you got the guard doing? Well, I got the guard. If the guard can fit, we'll block down. If the guard can't flip, we'll show block out. And the center has man on, he'll post. If there's no man on, he'll block backside. The man on, he'll reach. Tackle has a man on, he'll show pass, call X, bring the linebacker on the backside. And if there's nobody in the backside, tackle can drop and block X. On guard will pull. If it's an even call, he'll block short. If it's not call, he'll block long. If it's both called and block in the gap, we'll turn it up, he'll take the linebacker. That sounds good. You put all this shit down, right? The four of you. And then you have your meeting, and here comes Ralph. And you said, hey, Ralph, have a good summer? Ready to go, coach? I'm ready. Do, 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 do. That's Ralph. And then Pete comes next to him. Pete's a little smart. Pete, how's your summer, Pete? Not bad. Only in jail twice. Only in jail twice. So now you go to the road and say, Ralph, we made everything easy for you today. We're going to give you the trap rule. And Ralph says, no shit. Right, we're going to go over it right now with you, and we want you to get it. You ready, Ralph? Yes, sir. You mind if he writes it? Ralph's not good with the pencil. He said, right, have Pete write it, you copy it. Then you start, right? It's man on, no man on, front side, I got a double team block. If I'm a guard and I can fit to the onside, I block down. And no guard on my side, I will block back, take the first man my outside. If I show pass on an even defense, I'm going to show pass and block inside until I get the linebacker trap. If I have a man on, first man on, I'm going to call post. Post in the double team area. If no man in the post area, block back. If man in the post area, block red. Block red, red, red. If green shows, I block front side out. Tackle shows, I block back. Linebacker my side. No man, I take first linebacker my side on or off line of scrimmage unless I call X. If I call X, I take the end of the onside back on the linebacker. I take the end on his side. Guard will show pass block to the hook in the zone. We'll take guard pull to the backside. If they're in a split 6, call time. And then you say, you got that, Ralph? You got that, Pete? See, because last year Ralph and Pete used him blocking. Who you got, Ralph? I got him. Who you got, Pete? I got him. Hey, where's the ball going, Pete? On my ass. Where do you think we should block? Right there. What if there's nobody here, Pete? I'll take him. What if there's 2 guys here? You take him, I'll take him. What if he's a big son bitch? I'll call X. You take him, I'll go around. Now that's the same play. That's the same play. Then you know what they're doing in the other room. The quarterback coach is saying, when we come out, if they're in that overshift, let's not run that play. It's not good. What do they do? What's the play? 32. We'll add 3, and that'll become 35. Good. Now, Ralph just went through all that shit, and this guy comes out and goes, green, add 3, add 3. And Ralph goes, what'd you get, Pete? Ralph got 36, Pete got 37. There's opposites. Pete said, shit. Why don't he shut up? It's going right here. I had his ass. Now, you really believe that kid is better today? Not only is he not better, because in practice yesterday, that junior high kid went up to him when he got down and said, Ralph, you're looking. Ralph, you're looking at that linebacker. Well, shit, yeah, he's standing right there. Don't look, Ralph. I know what you're going to do to that. Ralph, don't look. God damn, don't look. Fellas, who cares? The first time we did that, Dave Butts was playing defense, and the linebacker said, Butts, I know which way you're going. Honest to God, I was at Purdue. Dave's about 6'12", 390 pounds. Dave said, Chevy, you're right. I'm going over there. I'll meet you there. In fact, Chevy, he said, go ahead and line up over there. Save all this shit. And I'm listening. And Butts said, I'll kick his ass over there as well as kick his ass over here. Man, it's a matter of who you have, where you have them, what you do when you have them, how you motivate them, if you speak intelligently, do they get up in their position, do they play hard for you, are you teaching what they can learn? Because if you put too much in a man's head, his feet don't move. His feet don't move. You keep it simple, they can play. Don't tell me your best play. Your best play is what you practice most. Your best pass route is what you throw best. Some quarterbacks can throw the shit out of an out to the right and could never throw one to the left. Why throw it then? Because that guy, Twitchy, will cover the son of a bitch anyway. You might even double cover his ass. Those defensive backfield coaches, they don't hit a lick. Just deepen up. Boy, they big. Go big line. Go get him, big studs. Kick ass, kick ass. Here they come. Here they kill him, big line. And their eyeballs get like this. That hole open. God damn. And then you get him. Hurry up, big line. Hey, football's so much fun if you think of it. We got guys like that twitching. Offensive line coaching, split six. I know it. Split six. The only relaxed people in the world, quarterback coaches. Throw it, man, throw it. Throw it. Look, Mike, you're even sad. Mike, the Kansas coach, he's relaxed. You impressed me for an offensive line. Good looking, unless you're playing around with that pencil a lot lately. Just take it easy, Mike. You get to you, goddamn. That's why they moved Valicenti from the secondary. Coach Val, he liked it today. He said, this quarterback coaching is good, Coach. All you say now is, let it up a little higher, a little higher. Before that, he was going, all right, up, left, right. Nice catch. Just back up. Secondary, get deep. Deep. If it was up to you, it would be 110. One-man line, 10 defensive backs. That's 2 nickels. So Frank Broyles doesn't get confused. That's a 1 nickel. 10 guys, all lined up. All right? Get what you can from an athlete by letting the athlete do what he can do best. Example, the best example in this world. Here's Ralph again. Ralph is a defensive football player. Ralph's about 222 pounds, 5 foot. Ralph's fat. But Ralph's all you got at nose guard. But what you do is an agility drill, you put him up against Pete. Now, Pete is that linebacker. Good looking son of a bitch. Quick. He walks quick. Okay? And Ralph just kind of... And then you'll get in front of him for agility drills, right? And you ready, Pete? Pete. Go, and Pete, goddamn, go. Everybody go, Pete. Ralph, you ready, Ralph? Now, the best way for Ralph is go. It's enough, Ralph. See, Ralph will never know he can do this shit. never embarrass Ralph. You and I have been embarrassed enough in life. But they'll make me run with Pete. I can't do it. Pete, what are you going to do with Ralph? Have Ralph hunt fumbles. And then when he finds one, call Pete. Pete! Now, men, we are using what we use best. When you think of it, what can you do with Ralph? If you piss him off, all he does is sit on the bench and say how stupid you are, right? So don't piss him off. Say, Ralph, that was a great find. He said, I had 3 finds today. I'd have had another one. That fat-ass Pete was in the way. I thought it was a ball, and it was John's helmet. We all recovered this son of a bitch. Man, I've had more laughs in football, and I won a hell of a lot of games. I hate to say that, but I did. I did. My teams laughed together and played for me. Liggins played, Dave played. We cried. When we lost, we cried. I cried. I cried because my guys lost. How in the hell can we lose? We got guys hunting fumbles. We got guys him blocking. We got other guys that kill your ass making fun of me. We're going to play it hard. But if we got beat because you were better and we tried hard. Don't ever think you got beat because you got out-coached. That doesn't happen much. You got beat because you got out-manned. You got out-manned. When you understand that, you're going to understand that many days in your life you're going to win. And no matter who you are, you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your ass kicked. I've been both places. I do. And when I lost, I run across the field. And when I won, I run across, because I knew it was the same handshake, only a little different squeeze. Right? Man, football is who you have. Now, if you can take what you have and make them play as well as you can because your coaches are working together. You know your coaches are working together when you lose and they all hurt. Do you really believe that's on your staff? And if it is, great. I mean, when you lose, you all really hurt. Hurt bad. If you have that, you're not going to hurt a lot. You're not going to hurt a lot. You've got to work at getting better at it by making football coaches and players play up. Keep playing up so that it gets done and we get it done. Now, in the coaching up, next thing I have is to be enthusiastic. To be enthusiastic, you must teach. And to teach, you must repeat. If Woody wanted to throw the curl, Woody called the curl. And you'd hear his guys in the booth say, oh, shit, it will never work. Now, if he's a nose guard, Woody would throw this son of a bitch and complete it. That's all they ever threw. That kid could throw a curl in a tornado. Zoop. And that defense, that offensive receiver, he'd give it a spin, a move, a shuffle, a jab, a do, open. And all your guys are going, and the guys upstairs saying, should never work. Man, he threw the son of a bitch into anything and completed it. I'm not saying that's the way to do it. The only reason it worked was that's what he did. That's what he did. That's why in your preseason practices, when you scrimmage and you add those little wrinkles you've learned in the last 5 clinics and you don't gain shit, you immediately go to the 46 play, your favorite. God damn it, run 46. The whole team goes, it's about time. And what did you do? You gained yardage. Oh, rip. That's goddamn nothing to the play. The whole world runs that play. But you love it, you believe in it, you coach it, the kids love it, they believe in it, they accept the coaching, they do it over and over again. There's a guy in Texas at Brownwood, Gordon Wood's his name, good friend of mine, he must be 78 years old. Gordon Wood won more state championships in Texas than anybody that ever lived. I mean, the shit he wins. Gordon Wood hasn't changed one offensive play in 23 years. And I hear the same shit. All he runs is, really? But when he runs it, no one's up. All he runs is, he runs that wing T sweep, no one can stand in there. Why? Because the defensive coordinator defends the other side. He said, this week he'll come the other way. You guys are really, really, and they roll the secondary wrong. That fools a lot of people. All right. Now, it's hot in here. If you're going to coach up, if you're going to show compassion, you're going to use a kid's name, you want your football squad to believe in you, then I must tell you to do that, right? It isn't worth the shit if I'm the only guy on the field that knows that. But if I get with you and we sit down and we go in a meeting and I say, this is what I want, man, and I talk to you as I just talked, you understand? This is what I gave. You say, ask them. We laughed, but I'll tell you what. Nobody swore. They dressed alike. They were enthusiastic as hell. And they taught. What a great bunch of coaches. And they taught. And you could hear them say, great job, Bob, great job. And if a kid did something wrong, they always found the good, which is, the man missed the block. It was never, you dumbass, you missed the block. It was always, you didn't come off on it. You come off the ball well. Now, you didn't make contact the way you know you can. You're better than that. You got to make contact, but your stance was good. You come out of there good. Come out of there good. That's the way to come. Now, you told that kid all he had to hear, but you told him he did something good today. And you didn't make that block, but you're good at it. You will. Now, do you think that's better than, you dumbass, you missed the son of a bitch 5 times. You haven't hit a lick. You wouldn't hit the water, fell out of the boat. You're a yellow asshole. Now, do you feel better? And that kid says, yeah, coach, shit, I feel ready. How about calling me a shithead? I really like when you do that. Man, he's a human being. Just think of what I said. I didn't not correct him. I'm going to correct him. But damn it, I want him to be corrected the way I like it. I was a turd. It took me a hell of a long time to become Tony. I want turds to be treated right. Because that's the only way I could play. Someone telling me I could. Because if you tell me enough I can't, I won't. I won't. So if you're a young coach, don't worry about where they're looking. Don't worry about where their weight distribution is. You tell me if that kid gave you 100% when the ball was snapped. Did he give you 100%? Then goddamn it, sit down and teach him how to get to the spot. Because you have everything you need to make him a football player. You have desire. Keep that desire and teach him how to get to the ball. Teach him how to explode. Don't destroy a man's attitude because you're a negative person. Negative does not win. Positive does. You must coach up. You must coach other coaches up. Don't be jealous. It's not, when you're on a staff, man, this is wrong. You have a scrimmage. You're walking off the field, and you are a new offensive line coach. And here's your best linebacker walking next to you. And you say, we kicked your ass today. That's you remember your team? You wear the same color. We kicked your ass today. We nailed your ass today, man. No, that really helped. Now that kid really thinks he's a nice guy. And when he met some of the offensive line in the locker room, he said, I met your coach. What a nice guy. You know what he said, baby. Instead of, Bob, good job today. You had a great hit. Coach, I wasn't good at all. I thought you played well. I'll tell you what, you have the greatest coach in the country. Stay with it. Man, I'll teach you how to do it. You just stay with it. You're going to be okay. Now let's take that. Now that guy comes in. First he likes you because you didn't make an ass out of him. Secondly, you said good things about his coach and he has an opportunity to succeed. Third, you started molding. You speak highly of your fellow coaches. When you go to the barbershop, Ben, and that barber says, hey, why'd Mike punt yesterday on the third day? Remember that play? Why'd he punt? Now, if you say nothing, do you understand? Nothing. All you do is, when you leave that barbershop, the next man that comes in, they'll say, you know who was in here? Defensive coordinator. I asked about that play. You know what he didn't punt? You know what he said, don't you? He agreed with me. Now, you didn't say shit. That's agreement. Do you understand that? Instead of, hey, Mike, how come Mike punted when he did? Hey, asshole. Cut my hair, never mind what we do, and I promise you I won't cut your hair. Now somebody comes in. Did you ask that guy about that punt? Never mind that punt. Say it. If you stick up for a man, stick up for him. We were talking about it upstairs with Jack and Toller and those guys about when I had a lot of problems going on about 5 years ago, and there were certain people that called me every day, and I won't name them. Every day. They never called me when I won. They never called me when I was in a bowl game. They never called me for anything. The only time they called me was when I needed them. You remember that. The only time you speak up for your staff is when they need you. And you say good things about each other. It doesn't pay any other way. There's no other way. And if you can't do it, get the hell out of coaching. This turnout is an example of a state who's interested in football. I give about 35, 40 clinics a year. And they're not this size anymore. They're down to 150, 200, 300 here. This is over 500 people. That means that you are interested in athletics. You are interested in your sport. Well then, damn it, say good things about each other. And don't worry about the guy that goes on the... Have I been drinking this shit? I don't remember. I haven't been drinking it. Stay there, goddammit! You know I'm on TV. Thank you. With my notes, all that shit. Okay. Now, beside coaching coaches, I always had a meeting and I called it, Goodbye, Dear, Football is Here. Now, you want to talk about assholes. Some of these wives are really something. They destroy staffs as if they have machine guns. Do you ever go to a stands and hear them, you'll know what I mean. Our linebackers are all right. It's the secondary that stinks. How about this one? If the defense would only stop them so we could get the ball, the offense would score. Now in front of you is that same barber. And he's saying, Mrs. Jones thinks the offense is full of shit. Men, women, it's a funny place. Man, oh, women don't know. They don't. So you bring them in a room and you say, Mrs. Jones, let me tell you something. The linebackers your husband coaches are mine. I'm the head coach. They are my linebackers. They're not your husband's. Now don't be angry with them. Be nice. They like this talk. Tell them, you have to understand we're all in this together. Things you say downtown casually makes people believe you really know. You don't know shit about football. Ask the guys. I'd say that and they'd go, hoo, hoo, hoo. Now, if you are one of those coaches that has to go home and tell your wife what coverage you're going to use this week, not only do you have a problem, I'll hire her. Do you go home and say, we're going to go 5 under, 2 deep, and we're going to roll up. We're going to hide that 5th man sometime, and when they go, we'll just bump. We'll bump. You got that, honey? Okay. I'm going to the sewing circle tonight, and I'll tell them we're just going to bump. Just bump. Man, if you have to talk intelligently to your wife, talk about the weather, USA Today, if Notre Dame's ever going to win, real hardcore stuff. But lay off of coaching. Your wives don't know it. They will never learn it. All they can do is destroy your staff. When wives hate each other, it's tough for the coaches, and you know it. You're the best buddies, and your wives hate. She hates your wife, I know. My wife hates your wife, I know. Well, what are we going to do? Let's not go out together anymore. Pretty soon, everybody goes on their own. Man, when you have a party, it's supposed to be a party. The only way it can be is if a coach goes in front of the women and say, girls, we're all in together. The only guy that's going to get fired is me, and your wife, your husbands are going to go. None of you guys are going to get underpaid. We're all getting the same thing. Quit talking about each other. They're not your linebackers. They're not your offensive line. They're not your defense. They're all of our football team. Don't hit anybody. Don't talk about anybody. If a man says something about the head coach, now, hit that son of a bitch. But then if you don't say it, it doesn't get done. If you don't say it, it will never happen. The only way it will happen. If I didn't love that, I would say things, but I love you, Mike. What do you need? My mic went off? They're laughing. What do I do with this? All right. How's this other mic? Am I okay? Thank you. That's a girl. Ooh. Ma'am, I didn't know you were here, but who gives a shit? That's not my fault. And she's attractive. I don't mean to be rude. Did you realize I wasn't drinking this? All right. Man, if you want to lead what we're saying into motivation, then let's talk about what motivation is. Motivation is how you react in front of a group of people. If I can make you enjoy what we're doing, okay? If I can make you laugh, I can feel I can teach you. You may not realize it, and I'm not trying to take any credit, but you got some nuggets tonight you're not sure of. Because as long as you were laughing, that meant you had it happen to you, or you knew where it happened. And as long as that occurred, then you know I'll either make that correction, or I will not let it happen again. So what I'm trying to do is to tell you, if we can get a football team to react, not to have humor and laugh all the time. If something's funny, I tell my squad and my coaches, laugh, baby. Because there's too many things in this sport that are heartaches. If something's interesting, make it be interesting. If you make fun of a person like I was doing to our little guy carrying the water, if he doesn't know that I like him, then I got a problem. If he couldn't feel that I wasn't being nasty, then I have a problem. You understand that? If I would do that to an athlete, use that as an example, and let that young man believe that I truly was trying to embarrass him instead of telling him I really like you, then I was wrong. But I feel that he knows that. And I'm not doing it. I feel he knows that. If I could pick on him and have him sit there thinking I'm a son of a bitch. Do you think I'm a son of a bitch? That's okay. Just about. I'm not going to ask you. What we're saying is, in order to motivate, you make people accept you for what you are and how you do it. You make people realize that you're trying to win. Don't ever think you win because you're a better coach than anybody in this room. Don't you ever think that. You must be a better teacher. 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 If you teach the material you have, and your material is good enough to win, you shall. But if you don't teach well enough to teach young people that are good enough to win, then get the hell out of it. It takes a damn poor coach to teach people how to lose. People want to win when they have enthusiasm. Enthusiasm must be fed. I cannot do a speech that I'm giving now that I have to give all over this country unless I sweat, because I believe it. I believe what I'm saying, and I swear to God I do. And I want you to believe it, because if you coach that way and you feel it, then it's fun. You know you have a calling. Do you understand what football coaching is today? This is not a lecture. What I'm telling you is it's a calling. Your pay is so... I told my daughter, keep your ass away from the gymnasium. Hang around the pre-med building. And when you see one of those shits walk out of there, one of those things, say hi. I don't care how ugly he is, but if he has one of those hoo-hoos, say hi there, handsome. Those big-ass studs aren't going to make any money. Man, you're in a profession where you got to love what you're doing, then enjoy it. How do you enjoy it? Teach them like they're your kid. How do you do that? Respect them. Coach him up. Make him feel good about the things that he does. Don't embarrass him. Make Ralph proud to hunt fumbles. Make Ralph proud to be a part of that. Make them understand that you don't swear because you want their respect. If you as a young coach feel that in order to get with the guys, you got to go up to them and say, how'd you make out last night? So the next staff meeting you have, you make sure you're in that room and you set an agenda on what we're going to wear, how we're going to talk, when we're going to meet, how long we're going to meet, how do we talk to kids, how do we make corrections, how do we speak on the field, how do we talk about fellow coaches. Don't whisper in a locker room. If you have a responsibility, you live by the responsibility. I'm going to teach your wife that she's a part of this team too, that no one is better than anybody else, that my language that I'm using today is not the kind of language that I would use when a young athlete. Now, when you get all of the people thinking along that line, then you have a philosophy. That's the word, philosophy. Then you have an opportunity to win. Winning is not because you're an outstanding coach. Winning is because you coach the best you can. No one in this room is a dumb football coach. Because as long as you can teach, do you understand? Teach. You're outstanding. Now you watch a bunch of guys here at Kansas today. I did at practice, and I mean this. They taught today. They were teaching. They were teaching young men how to play football. They weren't yelling so that you were impressed. They weren't bitching so that you thought they were tough. They were teaching him to become better at what he did. That's coaching. That's doing it the right way. Now, I feel that, where's Mike? You hear Mike? He could give this talk. Anyway, I know that there's not a break, is there? We just keep going? I don't know. I have enough water to go till tomorrow. We just go. I don't want to wait to keep these guys too much, but that's all right. All right, now, one other area is explain your hang-ups. You know what that means? Don't wait till the day of the game to tell the team what you don't want to happen on the bus or in the locker room. Can you imagine going to the ball game, you're in the bus, right? And all of a sudden, some turd, he's not going to play. Hey, baby. Now you're sitting up front and you're puckered. And here he is. Now, if you have to say, who is that? Dug it out. You don't want to win. You know, and you go through that tirade. You realize where the bus is going. To the game. That's not what you do today. Today is up day. You do that the first day of practice. When you meet with the squad, you say, man, I'll do this 4 times before we get on the first bus. But let me tell you a few things. And coaches, you listen to. 1, when we say we're going on a bus at 3:01, I don't take roll. At 3:01, the door closes. Now, I've left people in Seattle, Washington. Dave Butts. You know when he's not there. I left him. And the kids come up and he said, Coach, Dave's not here. I said, what the hell do I care? I'm here. Close the door. But Dave's not here. Close the goddamn door. You can hear him if he was coming. So we left him. I'm not giving a story. They asked Dave. He took a plane. He flew back. It cost him about $500. NCA, this is his own money. He flew back. So what I'm getting at is, you tell him 301, man, the door closes. Now when you get in the bus, you keep your mouth shut. You don't whisper. You don't whistle. You don't talk. You don't cough. You think football, and that's all. Now, I tell you that. Then 2 weeks later, I said, men, at 301, the door closes, and they start getting on. When you get in the bus, you keep your mouth shut. Then I explain what I want in the locker room. Prior to a game, I don't want anybody talking. That's me, okay? Anybody talking. Just sit down and boil, because I am. I might throw up. Whatever I want to do is my business. But all I know is, right now, don't bug me. Don't say the wrong thing. But I'm going to make sure I tell you what the wrong thing is. You know, I went through all of this. True story. Mike was there. I think Val. We're playing Maryland. At Maryland. And we get in the bus. My bus knows everything. My guys know everything. We're on the way to the game. Maryland's they were 10-0. Other than that, they weren't real good. And we were at Cincinnati. I was nervous, you know. Randy White, I think he took care of one side of the field, and then had another. Anyway, we're going to the game. We get in the bus. My kids are like this. And here's that asshole driver. Hey, baby! Hey, coach, look at her legs, baby. No, I don't know. And my assistant coaches are going, oh, shit. We forgot to tell him. True story, man. I made him get out of the bus. I said, would you stop the bus? Why? Stop the bus. Would you go out and see if everything's okay? Yeah. John, drive the bus. I left him. I left him. I almost went to jail. I left his ass in Maryland. He was waving. That was my fault. I didn't tell him. That's true. Didn't tell him. Because you can't do it any other way. You tell the driver. Man, when you get in the bus, keep your mouth shut. Don't swear. Don't talk to this guy. Will kill you. And know where you're going. If you've gone to the bus and the guy says, I'm lost. Or, I think it's this door. You drive around that stadium 17 times. And the secondary coach got to pee. Everybody's a nervous wreck, and the guy can't find the bus. There's somebody responsible for the bus, somebody responsible for people saying the bus. In the locker room, keep your mouth shut. When you leave the locker room, this is what you say. On the football field, I expect them to clap their hands, run to every position, never take their helmet off, and sprint from the field and never walk off the field. You sprint to the red line and run to the middle of the field. If I speak to you, you say yes sir, no sir, and that's what I wanted, that's what I expected, that's what I got. That's the only way it can be done. Tell them what you want to say. Now, I'm going to close. And in closing, let me say this, that in all aspects of coaching, you have to have something that you identify with. I would hide out the night before a game in the day of the game. And a lot of coaches didn't do that. In other words, if we flew, as soon as I got out of the plane or wherever I went, I was never seen. I did it for a reason, because I like to give short pep talks. The best pep talk I knew was, when they saw me walk in the room, buckle up. They didn't see me in the lobby. They didn't see me shitting around downstairs. They didn't see me shaking hands with the alumni. They didn't see me. They thought I died. But when they sat down in that room and they were silent, when I walked in, buckle up. He's here now. That was my way. I also did one other thing. I had a team prayer that you guys might have heard that I taught at the beginning of the year. And I'd give this prayer, and when I was through with the prayer, I walked out. They would walk out, they'd sit there, or they'd think. But it was my way. Now what I'll do, I'll explain to you how noise on one part gets people up, and then how silence becomes a motivator if done properly. Noise is when, prior to the game, and whatever you do, it's clap your hands, move, go, hit, move out, get back, hurry, hustle, run. It's band, it's noise, it's everything that's around you. It's the people outside, it's the drums, it's the crowd noise, it's your heart, it's everything you think of. Football is noise. It's a motivating factor. You must play with noise. You must play with it all around you. You play records in the locker room, you feel it, you get your gut to churn. All of these things are motivation. But then silence is a motivator. Also, if you're quiet, if you don't talk, if you're just as silent as you can be, you hear somebody breathe, you hear a cough, you hear a fan, you hear somebody else snort, you even hear somebody start to cry, somebody start to sob, then you know that motivation comes in varied forms. Motivation is not only what you say, how you coach or how you coach up. It is not only noise, it is what you say in silence that follows. If you do it properly, if you do it correctly, if you motivate intelligently, then that also becomes an asset. What is that? The way I get to prayer and the way I get to silence is when we get into the locker room, you walk up, you stand in front of the first thing and the last thing I ever said was, let us pray. Pray in your own way. Pray not to win. God willing, we shall. Pray to give 100% of your body. And pray that no one is injured on either football team. Thank God he's allowed you to play football. And I thank God he's allowed me to coach you. Good luck. God bless you. I love you guys. Thank you very much. You've been a good audience. Appreciate it.